All right, class, this is the area that you're going to find three of your plant materials for group one. You're going to find number 1, number 2, and number 6. And we're going to start off with plant number 1, which is your Liriope Mascara. The one thing that I want you to pay close attention to with this plant is the fruit. You've got the black berries here. You've got the green foliage. Now you'll see some different pictures in the PowerPoint slide. But the one thing I want to tell you about this plant right here is that it needs to be pruned back. The reason I haven't pruned it back right now is because I wanted you to see how it looks during the winter months. Every year, landscape contractors need to take either a string trimmer with a blade on it or a pair of hand pruners, and they need to cut back the Liriope really good. But this is plant number 1. Plant number 2 actually looks worse. This is the Varagata. Notice how it's almost burnt. When we cut this back after this week's class, these guys will come back really flush and green. But notice the actual stripes, because it's variegated. You can see some remnants of the fruit here, and pay close attention to these variegated stripes on the plant. Both of these shrubs are used in borders, along sidewalks, along curbs. They'll align shrub beds, but they're really good plants for ground covers. These actually have more of a mounding form, and you'll see plant number 3, the spicata, actually having a more of a grass-like form instead of the clumps. Now we're going to go ahead and jump to plant number 6. This is your Compacta Holly. What I want you to notice about the Compacta Holly is that burgundy or purplish stem. The most easiest way to identify this plant is with the burgundy. Now next week you're going to see 8 hollies. So I wanted to go ahead and throw a holly on this week, because hollies are some of the most difficult plants to actually identify. Compacta Hollies, one of the most common plants used in the landscape industry, especially commercial. Landscape architects and designers will put them all over commercial properties. They need to be pruned. They need to be hand pruned. A lot of individuals will take hedge clippers to them. It's not a good way to do it. As you can see, this plant is still open on the inside. It's because light and air is able to penetrate it. Once we start shearing that plant with hedge clippers, it'll form an outer shell almost of about 1 inch thickness of green foliage, and it'll start to die with inside. So please do not use hedge clippers at all. But take a good close look at that purple stem on the Ilex crenata compacta, your Compacta Holly. I still love this plant, but it is used quite a bit in the landscape. So guys, in this area here out by horticulture, you've got plants 1, 2, and 6 for plant group 1, your first week's plant ID. I do recommend coming over here. I know you guys have got class on campus, so stop by over here and actually take a sample. Go inside the lab, take a pair of pruners, and cut yourself a sample. You know, maybe 3 or 4 inches long, and at least get a sample of the leaf. You'll want to have a sample of the leaf for the quizzes, and that's what you would actually put on your plant ID sheet. It's a good deal. 3 plants here in the area right outside of the horticulture where we've got the greenhouses. Let's go look at plants 3, 4, and 5. All right, guys, here on the backside of Strickland, we've got more of plants 1 and 2. I just forgot about this and I wanted to show you. But with plant number 1, there it looks a whole lot better. It's more protected here underneath the spirea and on the backside of the building. And then we have plant number 2, the Varagata, or the variegated Liriope. So a couple different places that you can get plants number 1 and number 2. Like I said, behind the Strickland Center, right over here underneath the stairs. So good stuff here. All right, students, we're down here in the Hearts Garden, and I kind of came in on the backside of Snyder. Come down this sidewalk. We've got more of your plant number 1, the Liriope. Looks a lot better. Now notice this plant is in the shade down here and it's protected, so it looks a lot better. And as we walk down into the Hearts Garden, there you can see more of your Liriope. Just looks a whole lot better in the shade, don't it? Looking real good. Now, I do want to show you the Mondo grass. So we got 4 and 5 here. This is your Ophiopogon japonicus. This is your Nana. So this is plant number 5, and you've got it right here as well. Well, this is your Nana. This is your Nana. I have seen the regular Ophiopogon get a lot larger. You know, it can get up to, you know, almost a foot. So down in the Hearts Garden, here we have plant number 4, and then we have plant number 5. And we do have some Spicata Liriope down here as well. But I just want you guys to get real familiar with the Hearts Garden, because there's a lot of plants are down here. But more of your Mondo grass. It is the dark Mondo grass. And if we're lucky, we could actually look through this and find maybe some remnants of the blue berry that we find on it. I found one last year and I got super excited. And we were actually having class, you know, face to face when we did that. We brought the students down here. So just take a look and see if you can find a blueberry. I'm not seeing any. Those things are gorgeous. That they are. I'm checking every little thing, but probably not going to get to see any. But that is plants 4 and 5. Now we're going to go find plant number 3. But just kind of take a look here at the Hearts Garden. It's beautiful here in mid-January. I just love being down here. So just imagine what this place is going to look like in the springtime. So it's really nice having a place like this on campus. Guys, I walked on the backside of Hoosier. We got Hoosier Hall right here. And along the gravel path, whoa, we actually have, sorry, my tripod was spinning. We've got more of your plant number 1. So we've got these plants all over campus. Your Liriope Mascara. This is plant number 1. Alright class, here you're going to have your plant number 3, your Liriope Spicata. You've got 2 different varieties of it. You got the almost silver dragon here on the corner, but we are actually in the courtyard here over by the library, and then we've got it over there in the middle. But as you can see, we also have your Dwarf Mondo grass here as well. But the difference between the Liriope Spicata and Mascara is that this plant is a spreader. It's not clump forming. If we mowed this down, it would actually look like turf grass. And look how pretty it is, because it's shaded underneath the Jap maples. It's protected by the building, but very, very different forming. But the blade of the plant, the grass-like part, looks very similar to the Mascara here, the same color, but you'd have to identify it basically, you know, either in the nursery or in the landscape, and to see it actually mat forming versus clump forming. So, and that does wrap up all of your plants for this week. Like I said, we have the Dwarf Mondo grass there on the corner, but as you can see, we are by the library, Ardmore Hall, and then this is on the far left hand side of the Almond Center.